we got to talk about our good friend, Ed Franklin. Ed Franklin. I was on his podcast last week, and he finally released the recording yesterday. And I like Ed Franklin. Now, Ed has his No Limits podcast. Ed is like this giant ball of positive energy, and he's big and he's strong and he works out. So he's just big and tough. And boy, he loves selling, and he loves being out there helping people achieve their goals. And I joked that he was like the Zig Ziglar of Poway. And he said, "Oh, I'm not really quite that." But he's a sales coach, he's a sales leader, and he's like a personal motivator. And he's doing public speaking. He's got his own podcast. Great guy. And so we sometimes collaborate and talk about ways we can help each other, like things we're learning in our podcasts, and we share tips. We go out to breakfast, he and I, and another guy named Tim that joins us, and we just have some really good discussions. And so Ed had me as a guest on his podcast, and it was cool. I mean, I rewatched it. Ed does 80% of the talking, but I just liked the way it all came off, and I was proud of what I did. I enjoyed what Ed did. It was all good, and in many ways, it's interesting because Ed and I talk about a lot of the same ideas. Talk about being better, self-improvement, going out there and getting it, going out there in life and making things happen. I come at it from a philosophical perspective of my life is my life to live. I only get one shot at this. Okay. You only live once. Go out there, be all that you can be. Make this life the most impactful, most important project that you have. Take your life seriously and go out there and use your mind, be rational, look for ways that you can benefit, where you can build win-win relationships with others, and find ways to innovate and make positive impact on people's lives. And that's really, if you talk about leaving a legacy, that would be something I would be thrilled if I had even the smallest impact with that. But Ed's doing a lot of the same thing as well. But it's interesting that, he's kind of approaching it more from the self-improvement angle and from the sales motivational angle and the sales discipline angle to go out there and how you can go out and achieve your dreams. So we had a really interesting talk, and I think it was terrific. It really was. It's also giving me greater confidence because, for one, after I listened to that, I thought to myself that, here I am, I'm doing my little podcast here in Poway. And for most of the podcasts, I comment a lot on local Poway issues. I just got to think bigger. We need to make this a bigger focus. And Ed came back to me and said the same thing. Said we both need to be thinking bigger because we think we both have a pretty powerful message to share. But it gives me confidence because right now, the whole angle of pursuing happiness and the philosophical ideas built into the founding values of America are the things that get me excited. And I like to apply those principles, those ideas in the world of culture, the world of politics, the world of current events, and to show flaws in the way some people think and show alternative ways to think about things that really would improve how we go about our daily lives. And that's a lot of what I talk about. But rather than being just another guy talking, ranting about politics in a podcast, I felt like there needed to be a much higher purpose to this. And that's why this podcast is focused on our inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The more I think it through, the more I'm realizing that this message is important. This message resonates. This message can be influential. It's just a matter of getting it out there. And so I'm going to continue to keep doing this. I'm using current events, what's the latest thing going on with Trump, as a way to get my message out, but mostly because that makes it relevant and interesting for a lot of the people to follow the podcast and have some new information and new news and new ideas to share. But I'm feeling good about this. And I've got more ideas on the pursuit of happiness and like clothing brands and, public speaking ideas. In fact, Ed and I kind of have similar objectives, but it's just giving me more confidence. So I just want to say thanks to Ed for inviting me on his show. And he said he was feeling a lot more energy and a lot more positive motivation from our talk. So was I. And so all good. So thanks, Ed. Okay.